Great. All right.
I did see the Braves. Braves had a nice ninth inning comeback. Right, I just watched it. That's right before I ran out here.
I see that they're winning.
They put up 3 on Bednar.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, the Brewers were up and then down, and now I guess it's tied 3-3. So it's a good game. So
yeah, it is. It is just I'm playing the injured list, and after one day, I'm like, okay, his pitcher gave up 8 runs in like 3 innings. I like my chances. His team isn't hitting yet. Okay, I think he hit like 6 home runs today, and the only pitcher that was scoreless for me is the one on my bench. So frustrating.
Yeah, I just reason 10,000 that wins leagues are so terrible. I've got my last 2 guys that pitched went a combined 14 innings, gave up 1 run, 20 strikeouts, nothing to show for in the other column. I mean, so yeah, it helps in those categories, but
it's such a dumb stat to use for fantasy because it's like 85% luck at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they can only do so much. They have no control over how many runs their team scores or what the relievers after them do. It's a dumb stat. I mean, it's a fine stat, but it's dumb to use or to look at. It's not a good gauge, certainly, and it's really annoying for fantasy.
Now, I'm not seeing us, so if anybody's here and can say anything.
I see one person, so I'm guessing, maybe 2. I forgot to put the down up.
If anybody can see us live. Oh, there. It just popped up. Davo with the Acuna Health Report. Great.
Good. Yeah, I mean, I was talking to someone, even my wife was like, I don't get it. He has a pad. And I'm like, all right, why don't we go outside and I will throw a ball at your elbow. I mean, it won't be 97 miles an hour. It'll probably be about 57 miles an hour. And my elbow's going to hurt for a week. It's going to hurt me more throwing it than it's going to hurt her absorbing it.
Did she take you up on the offer?
Thankfully, she did not. So my elbow still feels pretty good.
Yeah, so speaking of your elbow, for those of you who don't know, Chris is an avid softball player, and his team has made the championships. So it will be an slightly abbreviated version of Blabbin tonight because he's got a championship game to go to.
Yeah, we had pretty exciting. I mean, as exciting as grown men playing slow pitch softball can be. Last week we were tied at, I want to say 13 or 12 going into the last inning, and we gave up 1 and scored 2. So.
Oh, you scored 2 in the bottom of the 7th to win?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can hold a team to 1 run in softball in an inning you've done something well.
That's great. Well, congratulations. You're now in the finals. And tell everybody what you have a chance to win. What you guys win?
A 100% cotton, extremely stiff, and likely in a terrible discounted color T-shirt from the city of Burbank, California.
That sounds great.
I'm guessing it might be orange. Sometimes they go with like a brown. I feel like they go with whatever's cheapest, whatever's on clearance at like some tea outlet.
Yes.
But more, it's about pride, and when I say pride, I mean the pride of not getting injured while we're playing. Is most pride I can handle.
That's true. I remember just a couple short years ago, I broke a bone during our playoffs and had to play the championship game with my broken finger, if you remember. So, yeah.
How did you do that, Jeff?
Well, I tried to catch a ball, and my glove is on this hand, and somehow this hand got in the way, and it broke this finger. But I caught the ball. We won the game and won the next game. I just could only swing with one hand.
Well, that's all right. I forgot. I thought that was another diving incident.
No, that was it was like a shoestring catch, except my other hand got in the way down the line.
I tell you, yeah, you and my wife do like to get that bare hand in the way of making catches sometimes.
Yeah. Yes, a lot of hand injuries.
Yeah.
Well, before we get to a very exciting pickup that you made, I wanted to show a couple things that I found here at home.
Oh, there we go.
You can read what this says.
We're taking this thing national.
Yes. And this was from 1998 when my Brewers went from the American League to the National League. This was their big slogan. We're taking this thing national.
Nice.
Thing printed with it. Cup.
Cool.
I've got a nice Leinenkugels in there now. But also,
Hopefully, at least.
here's something you may not know. On May 21st of 1996, the Detroit Tigers played their AAA team in an exhibition game. I
Okay.
don't know why, like during the season. It was during the season.
Huh.
Um, and if you remember, that 1996 Tigers team was absolutely terrible. I think they ended up with 53 wins. So we're talking like
Yes.
okay, it's terrible.
They had
And
that pitch lost like 20, right?
yeah, yeah, it was a rough season, and they sold everybody off at the deadline. But a friend of mine is from Toledo, and so I went to visit him, and I'd never been to a Mud Hens game, so we went to the game, and let me show you a couple pictures, see if you recognize this character.
Well, that is a thick, thick gentleman. So I'm guessing that's Cecil Fielder.
Here's the front view.
Oh yeah, man. What size pants are those?
This is not me getting an autograph, but here he is signing one.
Oh yeah. Jeez, look how big his arms are. Good lord.
He was enormous. Okay, yeah, keep hold that thought in mind. But at any rate, it was a lot of fun to see him and the Tigers. But the Tigers got absolutely shellacked by their AAA team, 14-1 in the
Oh my.
exhibition, and they went on to trade everybody. This is the last season that Cecil played in Detroit. He got traded at the deadline. But
Yeah, he went to
yeah,
the Yankees, I think, and ended up winning a ring.
yep, yep, that's bad when you play your AAA team and get
I think
smashed.
what's impressive is that they lost to their AAA team, but they actually had pieces to trade.
Yeah,
Like,
the people
yeah.
wanted. Um, but it doesn't end there because 10 years later, I had a chance to meet Cecil Fielder's son. And at this point, Prince Fielder was a huge prospect with the Brewers, and he came up and he was great with the Brewers. And I went to an autograph signing with my dad, and I've got a picture also. First of all, two things to notice about this photo. One, the size of Prince Fielder's arms compared to mine. Look at that.
I
And
saw.
two, look at the look on his face.
Yeah. Yep.
He's like, "What am I? I'm signing at a car dealership for a bunch of dorks." But look at the arms; it was crazy.
Yeah, I think you could probably wear his sleeve as a mini skirt if you know. I wouldn't recommend that in Milwaukee, but I feel like you could easily get your whole body in his sleeve.
He was enormous. He's not tall, but he was just enormous. Anyway, so that's my run-ins with the Fielder family. I found back here in Wisconsin.
Like, yeah, that it stinks that his career was so shortened. It was a neck, I think, right? And
Yes, yeah, the neck. He's
yeah,
psyched to be. Yes, yeah. I mean, look at this excitement.
yeah. I mean, legitimately, what year was that photo, Jeff?
2007, I want to say.
Your dad has not. Your dad has looked the exact same for 16 years, but
My dad's got the Brewer All Star Game shirt
yeah.
on. I believe he still has that shirt. There's the
What
ball that he.
What do you think, if anything, Prince Fielder was paid to be there?
Oh, I know what he's paid. He
Oh,
got to use the car. He got free cars,
oh
so
okay,
it was a
all right.
car deal. He got to use the. He got whatever car he wanted for the whole season that he was in Milwaukee, and he just had to stop by there. I think twice a year and sign for 2 hours or something.
That's a pretty good deal. I
Yeah,
remember my dad's a big Giants fan, and I think it was like I want to say it was like '88, or maybe '87. It doesn't really matter. Stephen Baker, who was a wide receiver for the Giants, was doing an autograph signing at like a boys' clothing store in like Millburn, New Jersey, between like noon and 2. So my dad, we got there at like 11:58, and we're waiting outside, and not another person showed up. We went in there, and the poor guy was just sitting there around like a bunch of polo shirts, and he signed for my friend and me and my dad, and like no one else came in. My dad just talked to him for like probably a half an hour, and not another person came in. I felt
well,
really bad.
at that point, yeah, you do kind of feel bad. You're like, well,
No.
but
I
he
mean,
probably got free polo shirts out of the deal.
I hope he got some nice clothes. But yeah, he had to deal with a half an hour of my dad just regaling him with stories of watching the Giants.
What was this? Even what?
Stephen Baker.
All right. Well, maybe
I
some Giants fans out there watching recognize him.
I think he was on the Super Bowl team of '86, but it may have been the next one in 89 or 90. He was on one of those two teams. I don't remember which one. But I will not.
Like a Mark Bavaro type name guy, but it was, hey, he's got a Super Bowl ring and some free polo shirts. Can't beat that.
Sure does. Yeah, I got my dad that picture of Mark Bavaro hugging Phil McConkey, the receiver from that was from the '86 Super Bowl. I think there was a deflection and that little guy caught the ball and Bavaro just like picked him up like he was absolutely nothing. But anyway, that's enough talk of men with big arms.
Yes.
I do have one. I have one small pickup I wanted to briefly talk about. So a card popped up on eBay that I had been looking for a long time. I've only seen it for sale one other time. And it popped up with like a really high ask and a best offer situation. And within an hour, it was gone. So I should have been a little bit more aggressive on that. I didn't want to let this one go. But it was actually being sold by Burbank Sports Cards, which, as you know, is pretty close to us. I was at the gym with my wife, and I was like, hey, I want to go take a look at this. But as you can very rightly surmise, the workout was not cut short.
No.
If anything, time was added to delay when I would get there. But I did get there, and I asked. I couldn't find it anywhere. I talked to someone, and apparently they were doing an eBay Live. And I guess Rob actually had the card on camera when I was in the store. Because I heard the guy like knock and go in, and he's like, "Do you still have that Freeman?" And I heard Rob be like, "What? I'm holding it right." Something like, "It's in my hand." And so there you go. So anyway, this is a 2017 Freddie Freeman opening day. Yeah, Eric, exactly. Yeah. I wasn't sure if you were here or not, but I figured you probably saw this thing come up for sale. It's this is a really cool card. His flagship SSP is also horizontal, so for whatever reason, Topps pushes horizontal. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe just some kind of like warm up,
Kind of got a nice smile on his face.
It's hard to keep those chompers hidden behind the lips, Jeff. But yeah, this card is pretty cool. I'm very glad to have to snagged it. Currently, there's one at PSA, and I believe it's a 9. This one has, I'm going to say 70% a 9, 30% an 8. It has a tiny white touch on each of those two bottom corners, but like it's tough to see with the naked eye, but you put it under magnification and it's there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, I'm just excited to actually hold this card because I've really never had the opportunity to snag it before.
So did you it was on, you saw it on the Burbank on eBay from Burbank, the site. So was there any negotiating, or when you got there, was it just what happened?
Before I even had a chance, they told me the price, and the kid said firm. So like the only negotiation was I going to pay cash and avoid sales tax, or was I going to use my credit card and pay an extra 9% or whatever it is? But I guess that means people were asking about it in the live. Probably Eric would be one of the people.
Well, congratulations. That's a huge pickup and a timely one too, as Freeman is absolutely dominating.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched a couple of Dodger games of late. He's not making a lot of outs. He isn't. It's pretty impressive what he's doing. I think he hit 500 over a 15-game stretch. We're going to talk more about Freeman next week. I don't want to get I could just start rambling about him and never stop again. Yeah, Davo, that is an insane fact.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think have they reconciled. I didn't see anything about them, anything good coming out of that, but it's pretty cool that they hit the same exact number of home runs.
Yeah, you never would have guessed that that's how many Prince would have ended up with the way he was going, but those injuries.
Yeah, the injuries. I think he was like in Texas, and we're like, oh boy, like he's just gonna mash in that ballpark, and then it just didn't work out that way.
Yeah. But. Well, so speaking of buying Freeman, we wanted to talk a little bit more in general about guys that we're looking at, that we're buying and that we're selling. So, what do you say to that?
Yeah, so I would say people we are currently, we can do selling first.
All right.
The biggest card I've sold of late was surprisingly a Bryce Harper. I sold that the 2013 Chrome SSP. You and I have a 10. I had a 9, which is like one of the first Chrome SSPs that I got.
That's awesome.
I let it go. I was actually looking at another Harper, so it was a classic sell a Harper to buy a Harper type scenario, but I have not yet picked up the other Harper. But it was sad to see cards like that go. But I was into it for, let me do the math in my head real quick, like $225, and I sold it for $700. So it's
great return.
It's hard to turn.
Like you said, it was the first Chrome SSP you had. It's been in your collection a while. Those are tough to part with, even just for sentimental reasons.
Yes, we should not be getting emotionally attached to small pictures of other men, but it does happen.
It does happen.
But yeah, I'm not actively selling other Harpers, but I did. Another collector on Instagram knew I had it, and he was looking for it, so it worked out.
Yeah, and it's always nice when you know the place it's going to. It's going to.
It's going to a really good account. It's actually going to Second Year Ben.
Yeah.
And as someone whose account is named Second Year, it's a second year. He's a Phillies fan. A second year Bryce Harper belongs with him.
Perfect. Exactly.
But as terms of players I'm actively shopping, actually, I'll ask you, what was the last sort of big card that you sold?
Well, as I was just telling Chris before we went on, I had a bunch of cards, not huge cards, but a bunch of cards end on DC Sports on consignment tonight. And a couple of them were decent size. A good handful of them were Acuña's. And I thought, well, his market is starting to rise for his lower end cards. And there were cards that I didn't want. There were like second year insert parallels. There was what else was there? Oh, a couple of prospect parallels.
Okay. I'm gonna disagree with your terminology. You said the cards you didn't want. I think they're cards you didn't need. But I think you wanted all these cards.
Yeah, I didn't need, but at the same time, I thought, well, if I could sell these 6 or 7 Acuñas and get a couple $100, I'd rather buy one card with that amount than have these other. So yeah, you're right. It's not a matter of want versus need. Another stat: Stan the Man, career hits, same at home and on the road. Yeah,
that's crazy. Stan he's also the answer to a great trivia question. Unfortunately I'm gonna have to paraphrase this question because I don't know the name of the town, but the town that Ken Griffey Jr. was born in, he is the second most career major league hits of anyone born in that town, because Stan Musial was born in the same town. I don't know. Someone else can research the name of the town, but that's a pretty insane thing.
Is it Pennsylvania town?
I don't know. I got nothing. I would think Ohio, but I don't know.
Maybe.
So what was the biggest card in your DC?
The biggest card was actually a Mookie Betts gold rookie, number to 2014.
Okay.
And so I got the card as a PS9. Hey, what's up, Lucky Peter? And I cracked it out and sent it to BGS. Also got a 9. So I decided that it just wasn't meant to be. So I got rid of that card and trying to save up for another Mookie Betts card or a potential card we may have bought. So, yeah, thanks, Megan.
The Nora PA was Pennsylvania. Good call, Jeff.
Did remember Pennsylvania. So that was the biggest card in there. And I think it went for, I don't know, $277 maybe. So not bad, but just not as much as you'd expect a gold rookie of one of the better players in the league. But
it is. But I bet I think that card is ticking up. I mean, it's not back to like 2020, 2021 heights when everything was going. I think that card is ticking back up. And was it the BGS 9, or did you crack it out and sell it raw?
I cracked it out and sold it raw.
Okay. What Acuña was in there?
What
Acuña was in there? Oh, I think you told me prospect parallel.
The best one, or the highest one that sold was an 86 orange, like the Topps 86 Mojo refractors.
The silver pack, yeah.
5, really cool looking card, but yeah, I didn't need it. A couple 2018 Bowman draft parallel. Is that 2017?
Yeah, 2017.
Yeah, 2017 Bowman draft. So not his first Bowman, but the Bowman draft. There was a blue parallel to 150, a paper one. I think that sold for $40, and then a 70th Bowman's 70th anniversary, which is numbered to 200, and that sold for I think $70 maybe.
That's not bad. I want to say just a quick shout out to Topps for being awful, because in 2017 Acuna has his first Bowman Chrome, and it's a cool shot of him running. And then he's in Bowman Draft too, so he has a second card with the same 2017 design, and
Yes.
another image where he's running again.
Yeah.
So you literally have to do kind of a double take to make sure you're buying the card you want to buy. It's really frustrating. I know only one of them says first, but
yes.
if you look at them casually, it takes a second to realize which image you're looking at.
Yeah, the one kind of the giant looking helmet is the first one.
Yes.
And then the other got the big smile rounding the base. Which is a cool shot. That's the Bowman Draft one.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think that kind of goes back to what you were talking about with the Harper, like in terms of selling players. He's got the oven mitt on.
Does he?
I can't remember. Jared.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Selling guys to get other cards of the same guy. And we've done that too. Like the bigger cards that we've sold in the last, I don't know, maybe 2 months have been Ohtani's.
That's right.
In order to buy other Ohtani's.
Yeah, just to finance other Ohtani's, exactly. And I have recently decided, I put some up on eBay the last 48 hours. Some one big Ohtani and then some second year Ohtani. Just because it's starting to seem like some of these prices that we're seeing, I don't know how long they can really hold.
Yeah.
His stuff is obviously, if he continues this, his stuff is going to be great. But there are going to be peaks and valleys for sure. And the team has now lost, is it 7 straight games?
Yeah.
I mean,
and there's nothing wrong with taking a little profit off the table, or at least you have it in cash. Especially when going to a show, that's a good option. Which we've got the Burbank show coming up in a month. So
we have our national coming up. Yeah, that we're very excited about. We are also trying to sell. We are, like you said, we are selling some Acuna too. We have our base Acuna PCs, each of us, and then together. But all the periphery stuff, I don't mind letting some of it go.
Yeah, agreed. And his market, I think we had talked about this a couple months ago, when he got off to such a great start and his market was just flat or even down in some cases. It was just everybody wanted to see if he could sustain it, if he could stay healthy for a full season. Well, it's not a full season yet, but I mean, he's almost got 100 runs. He's got a full season worth of stats, and he's looking great.
Yeah, he scored his 100th run today.
All right.
He led off with a home run. And as we heard from Davo, X-rays were negative, so I expect he'll be back in the lineup tomorrow. He just hates getting hit. He hates these when guys are brushing him back. PJ, we are not going to have a table at Burbank, but we will be there on Friday and Saturday, and we'll be hanging outside for a while on both days, just trying to meet some people that we have spoken with.
Exactly. We didn't want to get a table to be locked into on spot. Hey, Doug. So yeah, we thought walking around the show would be great. Plus, staying outside, getting to meet a few people, checking out what other people are buying and selling. That's what we're really interested in. So yeah, hopefully you'll be there and then come find us.
Yeah, I mean, all the Acuna stuff too that we've sold in the last 3 months or so. There's only one card that I think about, and it irritates the hell out of me. We sold that the Chrome Update X Fractor we had a PSA 10? We had a 10, right? Yeah. We had a PSA 10 that we bought raw, graded, we were really excited about, and we put it up right after he won Player of the Month in April. We put it up for bids. And I think it sold for $450. And 2 weeks later, another one sold for $810. And we were just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That was annoying. That one hurt. But it's just timing sometimes.
Timing and because usually I think the one that sold after was a best offer or something. So if you're patient, wait for it, you can throw it up for a high price and see what offers you get. Auctions now, just in this card market, are really tough. You've got to have the right person to see it.
Yeah, there's an occasional feeding frenzy for sure. Almost always right around something that you and I are trying to bid, and then Eric outbids us for it. But there are frequent feeding frenzies, and I really thought starting one on that Acuna, and I don't think there was a bid in the last 20 seconds. I remember watching it tick down, and just my jaw hit the floor.
Yeah.
But
PJ mentioned I'm guessing you're talking about the Trouts. He hand numbered the Tops Now card with him and Shohei, and they both signed it. Yeah, that's a really cool. I saw that picture. Ouija board vibes in that room. Yeah, it's a little dark in here. I'm outside.
Yeah. By the way, there appears to be some kind of fire behind you. Is that controlled? Is that a contained fire, Jeff? Other way.
Oh, it's a candle. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
It's a candle hanging out here. One of the not a real candle, a solar powered candle. Yeah, my folks have a lot of different lights out here and things. Kind of in the woods, so you probably might hear some crickets and whatnot. Yeah, you might see a live bear attack too.
Hey, those. Yeah, I'm just thinking like it looked like in the background your parents' house was just burning, and you're not a care in the world. Like, hey, I got to go on YouTube and talk about baseball.
No, it can wait. Fire can wait.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely does have some Ouija board vibes though. It looks a little bit dark. I do think. Oh, it'd be cool if your wife could come scare the hell out of you. But
you know what? Hold on. I think I've got some other lights out here. Let me check this out.
Dude, Davo, you're right about Bellinger. I maybe it's a case of a guy that just had to get the hell out of Los Angeles. I don't know. He looks totally different. Possible that shoulder injury is only now like fully healed. I mean, who knows? But he looks like the Clay Bellinger of old almost. I'm sorry, the Cody Bellinger of old. I said Clay, Cody.
I thought, what did I walk out on here for 5 seconds? Yeah, so he's kind of the reincarnation of what Chris Bryant was supposed to be, right? So he's taking over.
Yeah, he just signed in Chicago on a 1-year deal, right? So Bellinger will be a very interesting free agent. Someone's going to give him a lot of money, and they may regret it. I don't know.
Yeah, somebody's going to give him a long deal.
I mean, that has New York Yankees written all over it, doesn't it?
Yeah, that sounds like. I mean, he's a big swing for that stadium.
Oh yeah, big lefty, like bit of an injury history.
Yeah,
up and down career, $160 million.
Yeah, and it looked great for 30 games.
Yeah, but those he might hit 20 home runs in that ballpark in 30 games.
Might.
Never know. All right. In terms of other people we're selling, I will say that Jeff and I had a couple plans for this year that didn't quite work out. At the end of last season, we put about $400, give or take, into 4 Gavin Lux cards.
Yeah.
We had really high expectations this year, and we're like, this is sort of a low risk. He'll get the shortstop job, and then late in April or May, he'll hopefully be doing okay. We'll sell all these cards. We'll quick flip. We'll make some money. And boy, things were looking great.
They were. And
then they weren't. Like really, really fast. So we're still hanging on to those 4. I think they're going to have to wait at this point.
Lesson in flipping.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a low cost lesson, but we could have used that $400 to buy an Ohtani or something, which would be nicer at this point.
Yeah, I think last year we probably could have spent $400 on an Ohtani that right now would sell for like $2,000.
Yeah.
Any hot prospect cards? Doug, unfortunately I hate to say it, but Jeff and I are not the people to ask.
No, sorry.
Not something that we're big on. It's not something that we do a lot of.
Yeah, it's just too expensive for us, too risky.
Yeah.
Too much stress inducing. It's hard enough when you invest in an established guy, because he still could get hurt or go down the shitter. But for a prospect to make it,
yeah, the biggest risk I take is my wife's friend cuts my hair, and I let her use scissors to trim my eyebrows. And I know she doesn't like me very much, and I can feel her temptation at stabbing me in the eyeball every time she does it. But that's pretty much my adrenaline rush for the week. I don't need any more risk than that.
Well, now we know when we see you on here with an eye patch, we'll know what happened. We don't have to even ask.
Yeah. Well, she's not the only person who wants to stab me in the eyeball, I'm sure. But
who did it?
Yeah, we can blame her. That's probably the easiest thing to do. But yeah, I don't have any names. I mean, I know Jackson Holiday is doing really great, but that's not exactly a diamond in the rough. I think we all have high expectations for him.
And he's expensive already.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we don't prospect really, because the success is already baked into those prices.
Right. Hello from Japan. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, it's the price seems to be baked in, and it's just you look at it at the opportunity cost of what else you could be buying instead.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, how good does Jackson Holiday have to be for those prices to maintain or even go up? And it's outrageously good because we've seen
Yeah,
people who are put up absurd career numbers and their cards aren't selling for as much as Jackson Holiday. It doesn't really make any sense. But it
right.
does sort of segue nicely into people that Jeff and I are actively buying over the
Yeah.
last month. We have picked up 3 Mookie Betts cards. Is that right?
Yes, because we had those two, and then we just picked up the third.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I just watched the Glorious Bastards again, so I'm on the German 3.
Three.
Um, yeah. So Mookie Betts is for us an absolute buy, someone that we are looking at constantly. And the Harper that I sold, I was looking at an SSP Harper to sort of buy with the money. And a big time Betts rookie showed up. We talked to the seller. The condition looked great, and we just figured. I don't think there's a safer buy. I don't think there's anyone whose current career floor is lower than Mookie Betts.
Yeah, I think when I was talking about the card that I did sell of him, part of it was because we were buying these other rarer cards, and
Yeah,
yeah, his he continues to outperform just about everybody. I mean, not quite Trout levels of career accumulation yet, but um, especially the last couple of years as Trout slowed down, it could be interesting as they both get into their mid 30s to see
it,
who.
it's very interesting because Mookie's staying on the field.
Yes,
So I mean, Trout's WAR is obviously almost it's not catchable, but in
May-
terms of like runs and hits, I don't know. I think Trout's gonna have a real hard time getting to 3,000 hits. Like
yes,
it really come down, but Mookie is steady. I,
yeah. For Trout, depends how long he wants to play because he'll health health wise, who knows?
yeah.
I'm sure he could hang on as a DH for a lot longer after he
Oh,
stops playing the field.
for sure, for sure. But I tell you, if they would include Betts's bowling WAR, I think his number would get awfully close to Trout's.
Bowling, ping pong, he just seems to anything he can do.
Jared, that's
Jared
a
Mookie Autos beyond his rookie year is intriguing. Yes, very intriguing. And we'd heard some rumblings about him signing with Fanatics, so maybe we're going to start to get
yeah.
Mookie Autos again. I don't know.
I don't know either. I've not heard a thing about it, but he has that like exclusive deal with Fanatics, so he signs like pictures and stuff with them.
Yeah,
That was legitimately when Fanatics first bought Tops. One of the things you and I first talked about was the possibility of Mookie Betts autos getting
yeah.
back on the card.
Dodgers, no Dodgers card autos.
No, I mean really, he has no significant autos after 2014.
Right.
There's a couple stickers in 2015, but those are just left over from 2014.
Yeah.
But I do think, and I mean, I don't know if you want to play the long Mookie game, I think that really puts a greater emphasis on his rookie autos and those first Bowman autos.
Agreed, for sure. Spider Anaheim, did you guys see the Bryce Harper Raw 2014 Future Stars ended today? Was that an SS? I know the Future Stars weren't printed as much, but
No,
I considered an SSP. It might be an SP for
yeah, it's
24
basically an SP.
because Yelich has one right
Yeah,
around then as well.
yeah, it's less rare, more rare. I'm sorry than a base card, but it's not crazy rare. I did not see it end. How much did it go for? Out of curiosity. But yeah, 2014. The only SSP he's got is in Chrome, as far as off the top of my head. I don't think he has a flagship SSP in 2014. I'm trying to remember. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and I mean again, like Chris said, it's rarer than a base card, so it's not a bad
no.
pickup. But yeah, it's not entirely rare. It's not an SSP.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it went for, but what a couple if you're in the market for a Harper, his 2013 SPs, he's got one where he's jumping into the wall in center field. I think that was in Series 1. And then he's got one in Series 2 where he's got sunglasses on, kind of like almost looks like a modeling shot. Those
Yeah,
are surprisingly affordable. And those are like second-year SPs. But 2013 with the hobby was nowhere near what it is now. So like the PSA pops on those are pretty low. They're not readily available. They're not super common, and you could probably get them in a PSA 10 for under $200. And raws, I think, easily under $50. So those are two pretty cool cards. If you do like Harper, I wouldn't expect a quick flip, but over time, I think those two could definitely mature nicely.
And we've talked about the SP and SSP market is kind of getting more attention, which I mean is a double-edged sword because yes, more people are being exposed to it. Finding out raw ended at $45. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, under $50.
so it makes it a little harder to buy, but it's also nice to see appreciation for those kind of cards.
Yeah, and I do think, and kind of similar to this guy, like some of these SSPs were ripped by people that didn't know what they were. Like I'm convinced because there's only one of these at PSA. I'm convinced that maybe 20 of them are around people that know what they are, and
Yeah.
even that too high. Most of those Freemans are either in like kids binders, right next to the other Freeman card, and they have no clue what it is, or it just got discarded as you'll rip through packs looking for Mike Trout and Bryce Harper
With base cards. Yeah, agree. I think that for a good chunk of the 2010s, that's the story for a lot of SSPs.
Yeah, and some of those early chromes that we really love, we love talking about. Like, there's some lesser names in there, like Justin Upton and Matt Kemp and like Starlin Castro, Prince Fielder, and I don't know. I think those cards are lost to history. Like those almost never, because of Ben Revere. Like as cool as those were, those almost never come up. Yeah, Eric.
And 2013 catching did 130 and picked up sunglasses PSA 10 for 180. Both are relatively low pop considering 10 years old. So yeah, like you said, under $200. And yeah, you wonder how many of those are even out there because yeah, he was a name even then, but still, I think a lot of them could have got passed over.
Yeah,
still some in wax.
For sure. Yeah, the hobby. I mean, cards weren't printed like they are now. The hobby wasn't as big. Eric, those are fantastic buys, man. Great job. It does stink. I will say that those cards should all have the gold cup on them. And it's a bummer that they don't. I know Trout's don't either. He's got the same two, jumping into the stands and also a sunglasses card. And they didn't put the gold cup on his either, which is too bad.
That should be an absolute Y tops Y because they're just so inconsistent with that.
Yeah.
And very disappointing. We all love the cup. It adds an element of collectability to any card too. So,
especially people of our generation that first saw A7, and it's been in every product since.
Yeah.
We just want to see consistently. If a guy has it, like I think 2018 was really weird. It was on all the paper cards, and they didn't. And then any Chrome parallel, it's gone. It's weird.
I don't.
Oh, I just saw an Angels score update, and I feel like it's just going to make us sad.
Score 4 in the first, then give 3 back within the next inning or two. Team is snake bitten. 4-3 Angels. Yeah, they're looking rough. They're looking rough. Catching pop 35, sunglasses pop 23. That's so low, Eric. That's great.
Really low. That's really, really like I mean the 20 for I'm trying to think of a number I know off the top of my head. The 2020 Jordan Alvarez SSP, which is impossible to pull and near impossible to gem because of all that dark color on the top. I think that's pop 40. So I mean, there's a second-year Bryce Harper card, 2 second-year Bryce Harper variations that are even harder to gem than that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Bowman Brent, welcome, and just picked up the 2020 Update Soto SSP. What is that one?
I want to say that's not the Expo jersey. What does it look like? I can't think of what's the image.
Bowman Brent, give us a clue.
Yeah, please. I can't picture that on the top of my head.
Lucky Peter 2013, 2014, awesome SPs and SSPs, super underrated, absolutely. Oh, World Series celebration.
Oh, that's the horizontal one where he's good with the trophy. And I think he's at the parade. That's a badass card.
Did you pick it up raw or was it slabbed?
Yeah, the 2020 update SSPs are super rare. Like they did a good job keeping those. There's like that really cool Acuna one where I think he just homered and he's kind of running with his hands out, and the pictures from. And that's of course the Bichette. follow through. The
And they're
booty, yes.
Yeah, I don't know what the print run was on those, but they kept them low. Spider, handing the bat off, I believe. Or is that Spider? Okay, I spent the black 2013 Harper with Cup for 500. Was that good or dumb? PSA 10. So do you mean like his top's black?
Yeah, I
What's
mean,
numbered out of? Let us know.
Yeah, I pulled back into it sort of like a dummy thing. Oh well. But yeah,
That's tough.
Yeah, I got a question about that Topps Black Harper that the person mentioned. Is there a PSA 10 of the wait, supposed to be PSA 9, maybe 8. I'm confused talking about, Jeff. Which card does Bowman Brent have?
Black refractor. Okay. You picked up the 2013 Harper Black Refractor with the Cup for 500, a PSA 10.
That's great.
I don't know his price is well enough, but it seems good to me.
I think those are the blacks are out of 100 or 99. Yeah, I think it's great. That's a really good buy because the Gold Cup jumps out on the black, and a lot of the raw blacks that I've seen on eBay are all left to right, like off, like really, really off.
Yeah, high pop.
Yeah, I'm guessing that pop is like 5 or less, for sure. Now, I saw someone mentioned, was it a Jose Fernandez SSP with Miguel Cabrera?
Yes, Lucky Peter said his last pickup was the 2013 Jose with Miggy SSP.
I'm a huge fan of SSPs where they put other players on the card. I think that's a really cool idea. I love it. So that's a great card.
And when it's a player, it hits. When it's a great player, it hits double.
Yes, it's they Topps got unlucky in 2013 because they used Robinson Cano for a lot of their update SSPs, so that one didn't quite work out. But the only thing better, there's only 2 things better, Jeff. Dinosaurs, which we know Jose Fernandez has that great dinosaur SSP,
yeah.
And of course dogs. We know Trout has. They really should use dogs in more cards, but that's a whole separate issue we can get into. But yeah, Eric, by the way, if you're still in here, I'm working on that Harper update SSP with Machado. I'm working on it. I don't know if I'm making any headway, but I did make an offer, and I got that. I'll get back to you. I know what he wants. I don't think it's worth that much, but we'll see. I don't know. Did you get the offer on eBay? I got the offer on eBay.
Yeah, got the offer on eBay.
Yeah, we'll see. That's going to take a little while.
Made a video of the Soto, great. So we'll check out your page because I want to.
Yeah, and I assume that's the Stadium Club in a PSA 10 for $3K. I mean, I think that pop is under 6, really, really low. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Awesome card.
Peter's still looking for that Jose opening day SSP.
Yeah, I've never actually seen one on eBay. I knew it existed, so I had to do like an image search to find it. Yes, Walking with Dinosaurs at Marlins Park. It's just a phenomenal card. If I ever see it for sale, I think I might just have to buy it because it's got to be the only card I'm aware of where a guy's hugging a Velociraptor.
It's just, an absolutely insane.
It stinks. That guy we're on is like 150th career victory right now instead of, unfortunately, what happened. That card we might see more of that card. I don't know.
Yeah. What's a fair offer for the Trout with the dog? Well,
Snyder, Anaheim. I know a BGS 9 sold like in the last 3 weeks. So if you check 130 point, or even if you just check eBay sold. I'm sorry, Jeff. What?
I was trying to remember what the BGS went for. I know it was over $1,000. It was like 1,200.
I don't think it was that high. I think it was like $600 or $700 because it was a BGS 9 and it had an 8.5 sub. So I would use that as a starting point and figure a PSA 10 is probably in the neighborhood of 3 times that. But if you're buying it, you want to like back off. So I take a look. But Snyder, if you could look that one up, I want to say it sold like 3 weeks ago. See if you can find it on eBay. Because a BGS 9.
Which Trout dog is he talking about?
Oh, he's talking about the Stadium Club one, and I think you're talking about the opening day one.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. The opening day was a 9. That went for more. The Stadium Club one was a 9.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Eric, I don't own either of those cards. I don't know if you do or not. But yes, Spider, take a look. If you could look up the comp on the Stadium Club with Puppy. It's a BGS 9. I want to say it was around $600-700. like I said, I think a PSA 10 would probably be around 2.5 to 3 times that. That's what I would want as a seller. So maybe there's some there.
Trout and his dogs. We're thinking of different ones.
Yeah.
So Lucky Peter says, I was at the park heavy during those days and saw many dinosaurs walking around. That's awesome. I would have loved to have seen. That's like one of Chris's favorite things too.
For sure.
I live about 20 minutes from Marlins Park, so maybe you saw the Walking with Dinosaurs as well. Awesome. James, I love me some Otani. Well, who doesn't? That's
I as I mentioned before, I worked in different dogs, same trout. I worked in minor league baseball for a few years, and we never did Walking with Dinosaurs, but we used to have the Superstars come by. So Superstars were things. There are people in costumes, kind of like those big inflatable, like you see those big sumo costumes of people like you can wear for Halloween where they're inflated and they're big, but they're bigger than that. So an example would be one of the Superstars was Clammy Sosa. So it was a guy dressed up as a giant clam, but the clam was dressed in a Sosa jersey, and it was pretty hilarious. I'll try to think of some more of the names, but they would do these like weird little interactions during the game. Like Clammy Sosa would usually get into a fight with a base coach and then eat the base coach. But our minor league fans just went bananas for this stuff. Like that game would always sell out. People loved the Superstars. All right, 737. Okay, so if we're talking on eBay, I think you probably would have to go 2K on it, would be my guess.
Yeah.
That's what I would want as a seller. I would want 2K if I saw a BGS 9 go for 730. But if you can get them off of eBay and go like maybe 1,500 PayPal goods and services, that seems fairly reasonable. I don't know.
Not out there. I can't imagine the pop's too high on that.
No, it shouldn't be high. But maybe also take a look and see what other like Stadium Club Trout image variations have sold that are in a PSA 10, if there are any. Because he's got them in almost every year that they've done them.
He does, but not with dogs. So that's going to hold a.
There's always going to be a dog premium for sure.
Bowman Brent waiting for that Jose Ramirez Tops Now card. Yeah, that was quite a fight there.
Alex
Rodriguez.
That's hard to say, but I wouldn't be surprised. I'm trying to think. There was a giraffe. You know what? I'll look it up. I'll have a better story about it for next week. I'll do a little more research on those. But they were like crazy popular. It's very silly. But kids loved them and drunk adults loved them too. And that's what minor league baseball is all about.
Yeah, minor league baseball is about getting the people involved. Doug Sports Collector says, how about salsa with your taco fractor? I still haven't seen one in person. If anybody out there has seen one in person or been lucky enough to pull one. Wow, M. Parsons is on a roll with these names.
Cal Ripken Jr., good Lord. I can't see. Is that the rookie debut?
The Top Chrome Hitting Refractor. Yeah, that's the rookie debut, right?
That'd be the rookie debut. Oh my God, M. Parsons. Those are actual ones. Okay, so I feel better. I feel like Clammy Sosa was the first one I could think of. Yeah, Cal Ripken Jr. does sound very familiar.
But yeah, Shelly popping in to say hi, coming back from the Braves win. Thanks for joining us. And you saw a nice game, it sounds like. So Lucky pulled today, Lucky Peter. Who was it of?
Dion Salamander. I mean, that one's stretching it a little bit.
But stretch.
Yeah, that's all right. Bear Bonds. There you go. That one's that's pretty straightforward.
Speaking of minor league baseball, I did go to a minor league game this week, and it was a lot of fun. You could get really close to the players. You saw batting practice. The guys were out there throwing, signing autographs for the kids. There's a nice grassy area, kind of like spring training, where you could get right up next to the field, and the foul balls were hit over there. It was really cool. So yeah, I love minor league baseball.
Oh, that's right. His wife is in the opening day card. I recently had that. I did not realize that's who the blonde was in the picture.
Yeah, that's what Erica was saying. I think Eric
said that is really cool. I know Aaron Judge I think he has an SSP from last year's update walking into the All-Star Gala, and his wife, it's a wife or girlfriend, but she's just like chopped off at the wrist. So I'm sure she's pretty disappointed she didn't make the card. Yeah, Spider Animal. Good luck. Please let me know how that goes. I hope you get it. That's just one of those really, really cool kind of iconic Trout cards. It's an image that doesn't exist anywhere else. It's a cool
Yeah.
card. But Jeff, I'm seeing we've been on for 50 minutes, and I think that means it's almost 8 o'clock, right?
7:49. So,
Okay.
yeah, for those of you who joined late, Chris has a championship softball game to go to tonight, and since he is the unequivocal hitting star of the team, he's got to be there. So we might have to cut this a little bit short.
Thankfully,
Spider
Jeff, that is not the case for this team. I just have to
said,
and not
Aaron
die.
Judge auto I had BGS 9.5 to PC Sports card, so it's up for grabs soon. That's a beautiful card.
That is.
Looks like Tops and Taco Bell are teaming up for a promotion using the taco fractors. Yeah, we've kind of been wondering what that is. I know they've been promising utility for it. Free tacos, is that worth having that card? I don't know.
The one thing I will say I like about that is that's probably going to get more eyes on the hobby, more eyes looking at Topps Chrome, which is great. That's great for all of us. But personally,
Taco Bell, yeah.
I have no interest in a taco fractor or a negative refractor, by the way. I've seen people on Facebook discussing negative fractors and arguing about them.
I believe they're called frozen fractors, by the
Sorry,
way.
Frozen fractors. Sorry, thank you. But I have to say that people's rudimentary arithmetic skills are very troubling in 2023. It makes me just concerned for all of us.
Oh, no. They're trying to do some math with the negative numbers.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into it, but yeah.
Well, hope you won your softball game in Miami, 10:50 there. Yeah, Chris has got to go. Before you go, please, like God is great said, please hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps us out. It gets our numbers up there so we can bother more people with our sports card talk.
Yes.
And next week, you want to do what we got going for next week?
Next week, we're going to talk about the one and only Freddie Freeman. This guy has been on an absolute goddamn tear. I think he's hitting over 500 in the last 15, 18 games. It's nuts. He's got himself right in the MVP. I think right now the MVP is probably 55 Acuna, 45 Freeman. The dude is ageless, and he is phenomenal. And his cards are pretty interesting. What's out there, what the prices are. So we're going to talk about all things Freddie Freeman. We'll try to limit our conversation about his teeth, but I'm sure it will go on far too long. But yeah, we're going to talk about what we have. We're going to showcase some of our best Freemans that Jeff and I have. We got a lot of pop ones that we're really excited about. And we're going to kind of give some advice on what we think if you'd like to get in on the Freddie Freeman game. And I think there's a lot of big round numbers in his statistical career. We're going to tell you what we think are some of his best stuff. And I think it's all still shockingly affordable for the numbers that he has put up. I don't know.
Yeah, he's pretty underrated for somebody who's just hit their 2000th hit and 300th home run. Yep. There's a lot of stuff to talk about with him. So that'll be for next week. What minor league team? It was the Milwaukee Milkmen. It's an American Association team. They were playing the Chicago Dogs, who had their numbers shaped in hot dogs on the back of their jersey, which was pretty cool.
Is that affiliated or is that independent league?
It's independent.
Okay. Yeah.
Beautiful ballpark. It was awesome. Just a really cool place. We'd love to play there. Field looked great.
Ice cream was top notch as well.
A lot of ice cream there. Yeah, a lot of fried foods, cheese curds, etc.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for joining us. Sorry to cut it off. Let's wish Chris good luck tonight with his game. Hope you win that Burbank T-shirt.
No pull strings. That's the goal.
Yeah. Stay safe. We'll and watch those eyebrows. And we'll see everybody next week to talk about some Freddie Freeman. So thanks again.
Yep.
Please subscribe and come and find us on Instagram. Chris is at Baseball Card Addict, and I'm at My Favorite Cardboard. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.
Yep.